Okay, so let's talk about some stories or things that people could tell themselves that would prevent them from participating or doing the open. Peter, why don't you kick us off with one?
So one thing that I've heard a couple times is that maybe somebody's not competitive, right? They don't have that urge to see how well they can compete compared to somebody else. Got like a little ghost running in the ceiling.
Yeah.
So my biggest thing to say to somebody that may not be competitive is that the most important thing in any of the workouts we do in here, regardless of it being the open or not, is that the only person you should be competing with is going to be yourself. The open, those 3 workouts we're going to do, which we're all going to do on Mondays regardless, is one of the best times where you can just prove to yourself what you have in your own gas tank. So maybe you'll prove to yourself by going a little bit harder that I do have this movement, or I do have a little bit more, just like I'm more capable of things that I didn't think that I necessarily were. So by competing in this, you're going to be able to kind of like understand yourself a little bit more than normally.
You can almost like push yourself into like another gear.
Exactly. Yeah, and learn something new about yourself. So
even if you're not into like competition, what's a cool thing about the open is that, I'll use Sean as an example. Sean, I think this is your 11th open. Sean has 11 years of scores to look back on. Like we all get excited for like PRs when we do better, when we improve on something. So it's cool to look back. If you don't want to look at anybody else's scores, like awesome, we encourage that, right? But it's cool to look back and be like, hey, like, maybe one year I was 1,000th in the world, and the next year, like Sean goes to 900. It's like just like chipping away at it, and saying, hey, like all the hard work I'm doing is paying off. Now, another reason that I've heard is I don't have X skill. Now, there's a couple ways this can go. One way is you're a lot more capable than you believe you are. I don't know if I said that right, but I've seen awesome things in the open, like people working for their very first handstand push-up and getting it, and that being like they were so proud of that one handstand push-up or that chest to bar. It's like, you'll be surprised when we put some focused work in for 5, 10, 15 minutes before a workout. If we're close, it might be there. Now, say that skill isn't there. What's awesome about the open is usually it starts out the first week where everybody can play. Like the RX workout, like an example last year was double unders and wall climb. So it was a very open playing field. Now, as the weeks progress, you can kind of play with your workouts. Okay, maybe week 1 I did the RX. Week 2 I'm still in the RX, but hey, say week 3 that ring muscle up comes out. Cool, I'm gonna go to the scale division where you can still get a great workout in, compare yourself year to year, and maybe set yourself up for what does my next year look like? Do I need to start putting in some work on some ring drills or working on that handstand push-up, things like that? But you don't know until you try. So if you don't put yourself in that arena, take a crack at that skill, make the effort there, then do you really know? I mean, I've seen some really awesome things come out of the open. People getting their first or PRing lifts, things like that, and it happens every year for thousands of people. So
I'm smiling because I have a story that can relate. I think it was our first or second open. Astrid and I were doing the open together, and there was toes to bar, and we started from across the room, ran, jumped on the rig, big swing, got the toes up to the bar, and that was 1 rep. And I say that because after that, I was so determined. I wanted to really work on toe to bar. That was a skill that I wanted to have, and it was just a focus for the next couple of months until they eventually came. So just like Nolan said, it's just a really great way to start progressing. If there's something that presents itself and you're like, I want that, gives you a different focus. Another story could be, I'm so nervous, and I've heard that across the couple of years of just like, I'm nervous to have a judge, I'm nervous to have eyes on me, and we've said it before. It's in here. This is a very safe space, and this is your home, almost like your home field. So we're all in this together to be able to support and kind of push each other into that next gear. And really, what a judge is for is to hold the standard so it levels the playing field across the world. Because if somebody was if it's wall balls and the standard is squatting below parallel, which we say that a lot in here, and someone's working really hard to get below parallel and someone is, doing one of these guys, no, that wouldn't be fair. So that's really the reason why we have the judge there. And again, it just gives you maybe a little bit more of like that determination or shift your focus on what is important to me. Maybe it's, I really want to start squatting low again. So, yeah.
When you guys were going, I think almost like somebody starting at the gym. It's that like taking the step, right? Taking the step to have the conversation, like our most recent person who's come in and had that conversation with you.
Oh, that's right.
You know, taking the step and being seen and being vulnerable, and that is in one of the aspects the hardest part. It's like I'm gonna allow myself to be vulnerable, and then I think from that a lot of great things happen. So just leaning into that, leaning into I'm gonna allow myself to be vulnerable, to challenge myself, to put my best foot forward, effort, and not live in the story or the I don't even know, maybe the disempowering belief of like I'm not enough because of like some of the things you guys said, like I can't do a movement, or I'm going to get a no rep, or I'm not competitive. Like eliminate all that and just play, have fun, like you alluded to earlier, and just go all in. And we've never had anybody participate, enjoy the open, and regret it.
Yeah.
Like it is one of those times that the outside looking in is like, I wish I played, you know, and went in with everybody too. Anything else?
Nope. I think, and one of the things that I think to go back to like why we recommend is what's really cool is that they have a space where you can click on Railroad CrossFit, and one of the things I get really excited to see is the list of names. It's like as a group, as a gym, we're like in this together. So you know, last year I think we had like 30 people sign up, and it's just so cool to see that as a big group.
Well, this will be your first open, Giuseppe. You'll have memories back. But wouldn't you guys say that like just to like another thing to like recommend? I don't know about. I'm sure it's probably the same answer for you guys. But would you say like some of like your favorite CrossFit memories involve the open, and some of like your most like empowering times like revolve around this time of the year? Like I can think back to like most of my workout highlights are involved with the open. And like Sean said, it's one of those times where like the 3 weeks will go by and you'll be like, damn, I should have done it.
Absolutely. And we said it, people come back to watch, which is so cool.
It's very cool.
And our last video will go over, okay, I'm in, I love it, how do I sign up?